Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bobby Sapphire. It is time once again for the KTOD Radio podcast. We get the entire KTOD here with us back from the Galactic Championship. Justin, is that you got your Wemby jersey on? What's up, bro?
I got Wemby. It's 3 a.m. in Vegas right now, so I'm still in Vegas time. I'm tired. We're back to the early Sunday morning podcast records, but what a weekend, huh?
Yeah. Matty, you're in a car.
Yep. Still mid-move here. Got a car full of my family's belongings. Been ferrying them back and forth all weekend to our new house. So in the car, taking a pause to do the pod with the boys.
Yeah, I can't believe you are like mom and dad are moving out and you're moving in all on Monday. Like,
Crazy.
you just schedule the movers for the afternoon. That's crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, we use the same company, so it was easier to coordinate that way.
It's like, is it the same guy? Like he's just
Yeah.
like you again.
Yeah. It's one guy. He just drops everything to his back. He's incredible.
Wow.
But yeah, I cannot wait to be moved in. We try little behind the scenes, tried to film from the house, wasn't working, popped in the car. The pod must go on.
The pod must go on.
And
that's the theme for this week. This week, the pod must go on.
Yeah, Steve, who felt so bad he had to leave early, still hurting over there.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm still. I'm in pretty rough shape, but it's. I'm on the tail end of it. It was tough for a couple days. I think flying home that Sunday was probably the worst flight I've ever taken in my life. Probably infected the entire plane, whatever you want to call it.
I want to get with you, so I'm gonna throw this mask on right now.
Yeah.
This mask has seen a lot of things.
COVID strikes again. I mean, out of all the people that can't handle Vegas, I wasn't expecting it to be me. But
yeah, some guys just can't handle Vegas. It's true.
Some guys just can't handle Vegas.
I can't believe it was you that got it. Like,
I know.
It's like after all the pictures and photos, like I tried my best to like wash my hands, but like I didn't even do the fist bump. I was hugging people. Like I just got lucky,
That's
man.
True.
Thanks
do
for
you know how many hands I shook giving out those mats? Oh my god.
Oh, true.
I mean, yeah, I'm blaming it on one of the subscribers. It was probably one of you guys that gave it to me. But
betrayal.
Seriously.
Betrayal. Yeah, we'll talk about the mats.
It's probably a BN guy, to be honest with you. Frank. Infiltrating the KTOD with COVID.
Just a reminder that our podcast is sponsored by Metal Fab. Check out all their awesome metal products. The metal dice came in handy a lot during Galactics and during our playtesting. Just making everything tight. Actually, like, put away my big token case for the first time ever during day 2, just because there wasn't a lot of space on those tables at Worlds. It was very packed. So
a lot of people.
I saw people using the life puck in side events, and I think the open, and loving every minute of it. Like one guy was telling the other guy about how his battery life was like a tournament and a half. It was cool. So definitely great products there.
You know what's crazy with the life puck that I saw someone doing is they put the round timer on it, and that blew my mind. It literally like was on the life puck.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's insane.
Yeah, great product.
Yeah, my first round opponent who smoked me had a life puck. I was like, "Oh, sweet, you're friends with B-Flow?" And he was like, "No, I just bought this yesterday." I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Like, I thought we were the only ones that had them, but they're getting out there. That's
yeah, they're out now, and that guy ran all the way to top 8, which is great.
Yeah, he had a good deck. He played well. He smoked me. I got game 1, but it wasn't even close, really.
That guy was friends with B-Flow, or at least knew him, because he also wore like the polo that was Metal Fab.
He said B-Flow just gave him the polo. That was the first thing that made me
maybe Metal Fab sponsoring the Han 4 Tarkintown team now.
And he joined our Discord, so if you want to talk,
oh yeah, Magog, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
Hey, baby, thanks for joining, bub.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smoked me.
Yeah, he did what a lot of people do, which is like, I'm gonna make a little content about my deck. Let me get a big audience. So I think that's always a good move to come into the KTOD Discord, get a little signal boost. Yeah. Matty, the VIPs, had an awesome weekend in Vegas, and they're expanding. People saw the VIP treatment, and they jumped in. The visors, the special hoodies. We get to hang out with Achilles, B-Flow, M, Zefke, ATP, Travis, Rick, Mitch.
Dude.
I mean, Chris,
It was so
Psycho
insane.
Hazard, Sam was over from overseas.
It was awesome. We had a great time.
I didn't even see Edgy, and he's my friend. Like, that's how crazy Vegas was.
Yeah, everyone was so busy. We get to have a lot of FaceTime with the VIPs. They all were rocking their visors. That was super cool to see. Shout out to our new members that popped in. We appreciate all your support. And I got to give an extra shout out to M. M was the ringleader of all community hangs. M took people under her wing and freaking made sure they had a great time, made sure they met everyone, made sure I took photos with people because sometimes I'm very busy, and she pulled me and said, hey, you got to take a photo with all these guys. We had a great time. Me and Achilles had a steak dinner. Travis hooked me up with the freaking Font Awesome gear. Imrahill rocking it all the way at Comic-Con, representing KTOD. Just the vibes from the VIPs are amazing. If you are already in the Discord and interested, DM me. We kind of keep it closed because we do a lot of, we want to make sure it's a right fit. It's a serious commitment, but they've become our community ringleaders. They have become their own little family. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. Bloody Nine, Zefke. Booyah. Love those photos. I love to see the hangs. And I'm so glad I got to have a little cocktail hour with the VIPs at Vegas. It was fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah, M was really funny with pictures, and she was like, even in the just hanging out with people, she'd be like, hey, you want a picture with these guys? I'll take the picture with you guys. She did it for Ophir. She did it just all weekend. It was so funny.
Yeah. She's the best.
Yeah.
Shout out, double shout out.
Goated. She's still goated from bringing smuggling sandwiches into Denver. And then our shop is still cranking. I saw we got another order the other day, and the gear is just crazy. So if you like good gear, you want to rep the community that you're a part of, if you're in there, come check us out. All right, first shout out of the pod, Tada.
Back at it again.
After what, O2 dropping? No, he didn't O2 drop Worlds, but after drawing his first round at Galactics, running the same Kylo data vault that Steve, you ran, neither of you had a great showing at Worlds, but he had total faith in the deck. He said, no, I'm just running it back. The deck was good. We had it in a good spot, and he just had an undefeated run to win the first PQ of the season on the East Coast.
Yeah, insane. And we're back. Ophir's got his World qualification just from Worlds. Tada's now got one. We've got PQs on the horizon. It's an exciting time. That new Matt is sick. You can't totally see it there with the new champion Matt. But love that he ran the deck. Love that he's just so good at cards, too, and he's on our team. I like that. Yeah, we're back. And this season, we're going to get 8 out of 8. We already got 2 out of 8. We got plenty of time. Going to get 8 out of 8 for next year.
Yeah, we got 2 out of 8 in the first week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Looks like you won a sick purple lightsaber, too, which is cool. Precariously placed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I see it now. Yeah.
Is that a lightsaber?
Is that a lightsaber in your pocket, John, or are you just happy that you won a PQ?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that he did well with the Kylo list, because, I know the first few games that I lost just were complete, awful matchups, and I was kind of felt a little bit bad that he played the same list and didn't do so well at Worlds, but it's good to see that he got the W yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's the cool thing about John is he was like, no, I drew the first round, kind of screwed me over. Complete faith, ran it back, crushed it. So that was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he has a really good calmness with his play. He doesn't stress about card choices. He plays the deck he plays the cards that are in his deck very well. He's not going to be someone who's manic or anything like that. It's good to see that he's so successful. And it might not be a perfect list every time, but he actually is just nope, this is the way. It's the things that he prioritizes are not the things in on a Tuesday. It's more all right.
My list wasn't perfect.
It was not perfect, I'm guessing, but he plays the deck on Saturday during the match. so optimally. That's what he prioritizes, it seems like.
Yeah, and he doesn't get down about bad matchups or bad results because, like us, he's been doing this a really freaking long time.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it with games that like have multiple majors a year. It's not like when we played the old Star Wars game where it was like, oh, you basically had 2 tournaments a year to be good at.
Right.
And he's playing ones that you do it a dozen times a year. So way to power through, John, and congrats. I think that's the only result that got posted. I saw that someone else, there was one other PQ that someone chatted about in the Discord, but it didn't get posted.
There was one in like Albuquerque, I think. It was very small.
Yeah, it was only 15 people.
Both of these were, John's was pretty small. It was in the 30s.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of people are at Gen Con playing this weekend. Like a lot of people even went like right from Worlds to Gen Con. So.
And they had the mats. They had the Plo Koon mat tournaments like last year. I think similar energy.
Yeah.
To last year, like finalizer mats and stuff.
Man, it would have been nice to go to Gen Con. I missed that Airbnb.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
That was a sweet time.
That was
back with a weird
TikToks popped up as a memory yesterday.
Oh,
We were getting ready in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, that was a good weekend."
yeah.
It's crazy. That was a year ago, and like we've done so like with the world tour and sectors and regionals and all that stuff, and like obviously worlds. It's like we've done like you could name all the cities we've been and like all the places we've met people. Like we did a hang in Gen Con was actually like our first like, oh, let's go meet everyone at a bar. Steve, you found that place, and it was like the place that had like the pool tables and stuff. And it's like a year of all these like go to a city, meet all the KTOD folks, play a tournament. Like we've done that like 9 times, 10 times.
I'm
Not
so
including
tired.
like PQs, it's so insane.
Ready for year 2.
It's only been a year.
All right. Well, I've just got so many pictures of Worlds, so we can just kind of talk about whatever. It's not necessarily some like we have to talk about the pictures, but just how crazy Galactic's was.
Dude, it was Vegas Venetian was a great venue, and like the stuff, the props that they had there blew every expectation I had. Not like the stage was insane, and then like all the cool stuff, like the K2 and all that. Like, man, I was so impressed.
Yeah, I think that was Lucasfilm, right? Like, I didn't really understand. People were like, "Oh, Lucasfilm's here; they're watching." But I actually think Lucasfilm just probably is who has this traveling setup thing and set it all up. Because the props were nuts. They had K2 and the Death Star. They had IG-11 and Grogu and Tatooine. They had like an R2-D2 that was fully remote controlled and moving around. They had a TIE fighter. They had an X-Wing. And they had the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
They had the mouse droid too.
Oh yeah, they did have the mouse droid. The robotic droid, the remote control droids were cool.
I thought it was cool that it was different every day. Like usually people set those things up and then it's static for the weekend. But each day there was like a new surprise.
Yeah, when thing dropped or whatever, it was like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was really sick.
And the stage was sick. The music was cool. Like the way they did that whole thing. Like I played a bunch of PTs, and we obviously back in the day played the Versus system pro circuit that had the danger room and all that. And it felt like, honestly, like it kind of outpaced that. And those things were great, right? Like there's been some fantastic venues for pro tours that I've been at. It's like quiet and sort of very like sort of stage like chess tournament like. But this was fantastic, and the stage being like dark, and we'll get to this, Mike, of like your games on it, but like I don't know, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got to imagine at some point the Magic Pro Tour started doing it just like they did it in Vegas, because I do remember those like crane shots and judges on stage. So like I remember Hawaii being the first one where I was like, holy shit, like this is like serious production value. The Pro Tour that was in Hawaii.
They had it there.
Outside and the papers were blowing away and shit. Because I remember that one. That was in Hawaii as well.
Was it?
Yeah. Hawaii. I was at the Hawaii one, and it was like it was a nice convention center, and they definitely had like the cameras and the roped off area, and like the carpet, and like there was the one thing with the Magic PTs is like you do have more space. Like you're not just quite crammed like the way we were a little bit, but like the the stage with like the lighting, it was. I mean, you can't say that like they didn't do a good job for SWU Worlds because it was at the very least it was like an even tie
No, I
in
mean I
terms
remember
of.
walking in there. We had the VIP badge, so we walked in really early, and just seeing that, like I had no idea that they were gonna have even anything remotely close to that. I was like completely blown away. They had the like Lord of the Rings music blasting. The stage was
Yeah,
dark, and like I just took so many pictures just of the stage being like with the rotating images. Just couldn't believe it.
yeah.
Speaking of dark, I have one bone to pick. They put us in a dark corner, the darkest corner of the entire freaking convention center. That was
Yeah, if
wild.
you came and
Luckily,
saw us in the CC area, it was rough.
yeah, luckily, like the Buckethead guys came in and had like filming like lights, so that like helped I think a little bit. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, Justin
Oh,
and
the
I
other
got to
thing I
sit
wanted
at
to
that
say,
desk and like pretend to podcast for the production company who's making some
Yeah, I wonder
B-roll.
when that like
yep,
commercial B-roll thing's gonna
It'd
come out.
probably be a trailer for next year, right?
uh,
Probably. Yeah.
that'd be sweet.
They'll use our bodies again for their trailers, just like last time.
That free marketing.
Like one thing that I know that this was like specific to Vegas, like they used a lot of production companies and like or the people who set it up are in Vegas and stuff like that. And you can't do everything. Like Worlds has to be Galactic has to be special, but I would like to see a little more pomp and circumstance at least regional, not a sectors. Like regionals is like a big deal, right? It's like the Continental Championship or whatever. There's going to be like 3. I would like to see that. There was something really special about Galactics, and like while regionals and sectors were felt like just the tournament. Like
Yeah, one of
I
the
would like that.
things that I realized, or that they posted and made clear in that slideshow presentation on Sunday, was that they talked about who runs each level of event. And on the PQ level, it's local stores, and on the SQ and RQ level, it's Star City Games. And
Right.
Galactics is the only FFG run event. So unless we would have to Star City would have to be making a ton of bank off these SQs and RQs for them to start considering it, I think. But hopefully
Yeah,
they do.
yeah, it might be in the cards, but something to make the
Star,
event more special
the
would be
Star
cool.
City folks were there. Um, like Jared was there and stuff. So like
Yeah,
it's good
Brad
to
was there.
see.
They were. Yep. Sorry.
It's good to see like they got to see it, right? So like I don't think we'll see a stage like that or anything like that, but like I think in terms of coverage, also like the prize wall, even though like it had issues with like the way that they were like obviously running lines and stuff like that, it was like a demand. Like if you compare that prize wall to like Denver, where it was like no, like there was never a line ever for that prize wall, like it was just like this in the corner, um, and like nothing happened at all. Oh boy, these pictures, this is the time.
All right.
Where were
You're jumping in
I
one
don't
of those.
So this was at the content creator hangout.
okay.
Justin, you want to talk about your moves here?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We want Wemby on the podcast, and we know you're
Yeah.
out there. We know you're a huge Star Wars fan. We know you're watching right now.
Absolutely.
Um,
Come on, Wemby.
so
Admit it.
we want you on. We want to teach you how to play SWU. Long plane rides. Little history lesson. I guarantee the 3 of you guys don't know this. Mike, maybe you know this, but Tim Duncan, David Robinson won the NBA championship. What they do after that NBA championship? Did they go to the club? Did they go and party? No,
They played
they got on their
StarCraft.
team flight. Oh man, you do know it. And they did like the land StarCraft battle, Spurs championship, maybe the first Spurs championship. I'm not sure, but history of gaming. Wemby
Spurs
just
are
hosted
gamers.
we'd love to get you on. We'll give you Star Wars cards. Come on. I'm a huge fan. You can see I got my jersey. You can see my elevation there. I think I got about 4 inches off the ground, dunking on that wampa. Um, but yeah, come on the podcast, learn more about Star Wars Unlimited. It's a real deal. I defeated Darth Maul for you. I posted up Ahsoka Tano. Someone was on the Discord was like, bend your legs when you're posting up. I'm like,
I
no,
don't think so.
no, you don't do that. Like, what are we talking about here? Wemby would know. He's not bending his legs and getting low. He's posting up high. He's dominating. He's dunking, winning he's going to be a champion. We want to be champions. We can talk about like strategy. We can get to know each other. Come on the podcast. That's all I got.
And honestly, we'll come to France if you'll come on. We'll come take care of it.
Yeah, we'll go to San Antonio. We'll go to France.
Yeah.
We could do this at a card tournament. Like you just hosted a chess tournament.
Oh my
it was
God.
super cool.
Where in Texas are the Bucketheads? Can we borrow their studio when we go down there?
We just we'll do a live studio. We'll do a Zoom. Hit us up. If any of our fans knows anyone in the Spurs, like get this out, get the message out. We need to make this happen.
No joke though. That's the cool thing about this community. Like, people know people, and you get these interesting like through lines. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's all about who you know, not what you know.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun. We were at the content creator hang, and they had all these standees posted, and Justin and I just literally ran around the room, posting and posing at each one. We probably took all these photos in about 90 seconds.
People were watching. It was something. Our plus ones were impressed. It was a wild time.
Yeah, who are your content creator hang?
Well, this is a Justin thing.
We got the Enigma boys. They were great dates.
The Swoop Racers, Sip and Bettin. They wanted to crash the hangout. They were like, "We're content creators. We'll come." And we were like, I don't."
And then they
think so.
were like, "Where did you pre-register?" And Sip goes, "Oh, we can't get in. We didn't pre-register." And I was like, "Can they just be our plus ones to the lady?" Steve, one of them was your plus one because you weren't there. I was like, they had to put our names in, and I was like, Mike got Bettin, and I got Sip, but I think you got their friend Steve. There's a third guy there.
That guy was super.
Yeah, nice. And everyone, the content hangout was cool. They gave out the Ewok mats, and they, I guess they dropped like a bunch of cases to everybody and just like threw boxes around the room, and everyone kind of just like cracked packs. We missed that part.
Trying to crack a showcase. It was like packs to everyone, and it was like find the first showcase, and it was like
Buckethead's got 2, I think, if I remember correctly.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was cool.
I was wondering what all those rappers were about. The mat was cool.
In the hotel room taking a bath.
I thought that was
the first onset of COVID.
When you started filming.
Did you get the bath TV to work?
I did. I was watching Aquaman. It was pretty sick, actually.
Nice.
Aquaman's a great movie to watch in the bath.
It was.
Vinny Chase absolutely kills it.
It's like when you're a kid and you like want to have like your toys like do the things that they're actually like. It's like a. Can I take this toy to the ocean? It's
the jets worked and everything. It was pretty sick.
Nah, that was actually Amber Heard swimming around. You did take a bath, Matt?
No, I wish I did. I didn't have time, dude. That was the one key thing of the weekend is like, did not have enough time to do everything. It was so hard, especially because I came in on Thursday instead of Wednesday.
I don't know. You did a lot at the Cabana pool party. You had plenty of time.
This dude didn't even want to be there for like the first hour.
I know, and then
Justin just started pouring water on his chest, and it was all over.
He's like sulking in the corner.
The pool party's gonna come back and bite me. Fast forward to the last 2 rounds of day 1, where I just could not even keep my head up. Like I was just falling asleep at the table.
Bro, you threw a crate instead of playing a crate. Like
bro,
you can't blame that one on the Cabana.
Dude, I lost game 2 and started to walk away, and my opponent was like, "Hey, dude, you won game 1." Like that's how tired I was.
Yeah, but that was I might have mentioned this already somewhere, but like my watch told me that my body battery was at 5 and I was bottoming out when I woke up on Friday. It's just drained from dancing in the pool for 6 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it was a lot of dancing.
But hey, it was fun. If I was gonna, and my twin. What's up, John?
Poor John Leo probably got like, "Hey, are you KTOD Matty?" like 100 times this weekend.
I did it. I thought he was Matty. And like,
my boy.
I literally walked right over him like, "Hey."
He's a good word about it. He's a good.
No, I think we lost Matt.
I like that just because, like.
You're breaking up a little. Yeah, you're just breaking up a little.
Yeah, John's the man. I see my bars going up and down.
If you're on the Wi-Fi, jump off the Wi-Fi would be my recommendation. Yeah, we're on the 50th floor of the Palazzo. You can see the view in the background there if you're on YouTube. Just crazy. You can see all of Henderson from there, and you really see how small the city really is.
We had a great setup for sure.
Yeah, that table was cool, and there was a rotating piece in the middle. So we like when we were doing our draft after Wu top forward, he was like, "Can we draft?" So we drafted, and that little thing in the middle is like a lazy Susan. You could just spin the tokens around the table as we needed them, which was cool.
That was pretty funny that his celebration wanted to be the draft. That was the most Woo thing ever, and it was fun. So
It was fun, and honestly, like I don't know how you guys feel, Justin and Steve, but like you didn't play day one, and you both dropped like at least halfway through the event, right? So like you must have felt like you didn't actually play much cards this weekend, right?
No, I didn't play much cards. I might have played more limited games in that draft than I played in the actual tournament. Yeah, the event itself was like made me wanting to play more. I'm excited to PQ and stuff like that too. But yeah, we didn't play that much.
Yeah, it's weird getting geared up for a big event because it's like, all right, all this prep, and then you only play a few rounds. Even when you even if you just like made day two, like if you were qualified and you played your 8 rounds, right? Like you spent just so much time prepping to only get a few rounds in. Kind of
Yeah, I mean,
wild.
you guys did have to play day one, and then Matty, you played the open, you played all the rounds, and Mike, you stayed in day two. So like you guys played 16 rounds, and Steve and I played 4 rounds because we both went 1-3 drop.
Yeah.
Wasn't a finest performance, but you guys played a lot of games. Like you guys probably had the second most wins on the team, one of the two of you, based upon like just how many games you played.
Yeah.
No fear being
let's
number
see.
one.
5 wins day one and 6 wins at the Open. I lost every winning in 0-3 and winning ins at the Galactic.
Yeah, that's tough. I thought you were gonna get there in the Open. Well, I thought you were gonna get there day one and the Open.
I can't even use my saying, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Well, you still worked it in somehow.
Yeah. Day one was going to be hard. I was so tired sitting down to the 5th round. And then just I knew I was going to fly close to sun. And I wasn't surprised that I bottomed out in the last 2 rounds and just made the craziest mistakes of all time. But I was just so tired. The Open, I felt great. Again, how tired I was, I played the BN Tarkintown list, and in the morning, I noticed my SWU had force chokes instead of force throws, and I thought that was weird, but I was just so frazzled trying to build the deck that I played the whole day without force throws, and still almost day 2 the Open, which was crazy.
I'll force choke you, now I'll cast Pillage deck.
Yeah, I was playing Matt. I was playing Kylo Tarkintown with Force Choke and Pillage. Sound like a set 1 deck,
right?
Or set 2, I guess. Pillage was set 2.
The
but.
force throws would have been great. That was crazy. That just goes to show, like, it's not a good idea to build your deck through the vendors and have. Shout out to Blake for helping me out. Like, not a good idea to build your deck when there's 10 minutes left before the event starts. Mistakes will happen.
Yeah.
That was I had fun.
Be prepared.
Cool.
Yep. Here's some more. I get to meet there's Wu playing in the top 4 versus Michael Conroe. There's like a cool black and white picture. I think Justin, you took that one. The R2 picture, the R2 was really insane. Like it was legit. Yeah. And I get to meet our favorite podcaster, Veiled Shot. I crashed. What's up?
Why was the top 4 just played at a random table?
Sorry. This is top 8. Sorry, top 8. Yeah, there were 2 stage tables, and then they had these guys on the over in the rail by the event desk, which was kind of annoying because people were crazy.
All 8, for day 3, they should have made it so that they had 4 tables up there. There was plenty of room.
Yeah, they could have set it up for that.
I never thought about that, but that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, having it right there.
It feels so random that like top 8 matches just played at a like. This was the first I saw that picture. Like that was my first thought. It's like, oh, it's just a random table considering the production that they put on.
Yeah, they also could have staggered and done 2 and 2, but they just like the con closed at 2 on Sunday, which is pretty crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get into the prize wall stuff at the end of the pod.
Yeah, maybe they put them somewhere else. Like set those tables aside. I don't know. It's all good.
Yeah.
They'll learn for next.
So speaking of the stage, I get to be the first game on stage the whole weekend, which was cool. They put me on in round 1, so I get to be the first person to win a game on stream, and then I got interviewed on stream, and then I played again on stream day 2, but they only got my game 3, which I kind of got obliterated by multiple Talzin's assassins and Dooku. But it was really fun playing on stage. Yeah, it was just sick. Like that was when I saw the stage, my goal was to play on stage, and so like being able to play round 1 was pretty sick.
Yeah, that's insane. You got a dub.
Yep. And shout out to Main Deck Dan for casting and actually mentioning KTOD multiple times during the games, which was sick.
Awesome.
Properly identified me as Bobby Sapphire.
Thank you for supporting our Patreon.
And then I like this one. I found this. Someone posted this in the Discord. Me against 4 judges, which is how I usually feel.
Like, what is he doing? He's like,
They were practicing the die roll on camera because they were like, you have to roll in this specific way, and they were doing a camera test for the die roll.
Wow.
Think about.
Yep.
And some sleeves.
Oh, yeah, and I got some sleeves. I had to re-sleeve. All right, so shout out to Benton, who took the whole thing down with Talzin Red.
Who knew when we met him in London? Well, I guess you knew him before. When we were jamming against him in the London PQ in the cold mall basement. What was the name of that store?
I do not remember. I didn't
know that was his name either.
Yeah, you thought he was a different person. You thought he was the guy who was trying to push being a vegan on everyone. It wasn't him. We were chilling with him, and now he's a world champion. Shout out to Benton, cool dude.
Yeah, congrats,
dude, he was. I was stoked. Like, you're at the content creator thing. You don't meet you don't know everyone just from the internet. His vibes were immaculate. I think he's a great first world champion. Dude's a great player. He's funny, cool guy, and this Talzin deck looks mean.
Yeah, the Talzin deck was hot. It's very similar to what we tested. He had some interesting tech here. He had the Sun. He had Arm to the Teeth, which is like a great, like one of those cards where you're like, man, this deck just needs Smuggle. And that's like the go-to red card for Smuggle. We ended up playing it in Django at times because we just like some of these colors are just so devoid of Smuggle, which is really nice. He had the Purge Trooper, which is pretty cool in such a force-heavy meta.
Yeah, that was the Purge. And like Tada talked about the Sun a little bit in testing, but like the Sun and stuff like Arm to the Teeth are really cool to like late phase get that surprise damage in when people claim and they don't see the kill coming. I think that's really smart. Like so much time you're trying to like get action efficient so that way you can have initiative next turn, but there's times that you actually want to be later in the phase when they've kind of run out of things to do, and like Arm to the Teeth is a great example of that.
Yeah, it's an ultimate punish card. This deck gets really ahead on board, and when your opponent is the one that has to tap out into your open attackers, Arm to the Teeth is just an incredible punish.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good deck for sure. And like you've got the Krennic there, 14 turn 1 play. A lot of good stuff.
It also helps you get through Cheer It, which is cool because it makes a lot of these guys 6 attack.
Yeah.
Which you can then combine with Mother Talzin to either not die and then kill.
The interesting thing about this deck, like our Han deck had like Fell the Dragon and Force Throw. But like this has Force Lightning at a discount. It has Power of the Dark Side. It has Force Throw. Like it has the way to be aggressive. Like that was one takeaway I had, and it has like Talzin's Assassin. The takeaway I had was like Force Lightning is so insane, and like we were splashing it in Han at times. A lot of people did that, but like when you're able to actually just play it for its actual cost, it's like, boy, that card's wild.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was like
one of Worlds.
It was like it won Worlds. Yeah, like the action of casting that card, like got just busted the Sentinel, like took the Sentinel away from Kylo, and then I think he was able to swing for lethal or claim for lethal, whatever it was.
I think he top decked it to do it again.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That might have been game 2, but either way, it was pretty insane.
Like, do you remember when like you just started playing Magic? Like, because you guys didn't play Magic first. I played Magic, then you guys like joined in. Do you remember when you heard top deck for the first time and you were like, where else are you going to get it if not the top of your deck?
Yeah,
like, that always
I hated that phrase. I thought it was the stupidest phrase.
When
but that was 20 years ago.
I know.
It was more than 20 years ago.
I didn't watch the finals, but I was reading some of the comments, stuff like that. Was there a math discrepancy or something like that, which ended up being the deciding factor?
I'm not sure. We didn't watch either. Once SWU got eliminated in the top 4, we went and hung out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think like discrepancy, but I think it was definitely like maybe like
decision. I think
math.
I think Ian said he miscounted lethal. I think he thought he had lethal and he didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was something along those lines.
Something like that.
I gotta watch it. I haven't.
He mentioned needing to do math prep for Worlds or something like that.
I know that we're talking about this, betting and everything, but I played that Kylo deck in the open. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll make a big Kylo. I'll attack. I'll just beat people. And like round 1 and 2, like I had to kill like data vault decks and stuff. So I had to like really sweat my math. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Like, this is way too much math for like me trying to just like have a little fun in the open. It was crazy.
Yeah, they were talking about like against
counting.
some. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just gonna say counting to 33 is really hard.
Well,
when it's coming from your discard pile, I guess maybe.
I guess you only have 20 fingers and toes.
Oh my God! What resources am I using? And then it's like attacking, killing Modi, attacking like. Oh, it was just a lot of thinking. All right, give me a break.
Yeah, they were saying that against data vault decks, you have to like do all 33 damage at once, basically.
Yeah, that's what I think 32. I think they said their record. So I was talking to someone who played the deck was 36 damage, in one like go, and mine was 32. It was 216s.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, constructed lightsaber just adding 4 to the equation is pretty sick, though.
Yeah, now like after we did a lot of testing with constructed lightsaber, and like granted, like the Sentinel can be clutch at times, and the Restore can be clutch at times, but nothing feels as good as the Raid 2. Just
no, actually, I've been working on a little more aggressive Talzin to deal with some of like the control that's popping up, and I'm putting constructeds in addition to Fallens, and like because the turn 2 plays are kind of rough in Talzin, like just being like my turn 2 is like a lightsaber. That's kind of like the theory behind it. I don't know. I haven't tested it much yet, but I love constructed on some of these villain units.
Yep.
And then our teammate Wu Ophir lost in the semifinals in pretty tragic fashion. One of the worst hands I've ever seen in my life. His Mull game 3. 3 7-drop Han Solos, a Depa Balaba 6-drop Kira, and I think he said the 6th card was Force Throw. I guess I didn't get an accurate screenshot here, but he and Ian had like a pretty dramatic hug after the game. But those guys, but he battled it out, and obviously like he crushed this event. He went undefeated up until round 10, and then drew round 11. So like counting his like if you count Minnesota and this, he's like I don't know, like 23-2. It's reminiscent of your like 2002 run, Justin. Want to say like where you just like only lost 2 games all season or something.
Yeah. No, he's on fire. He did great. Only undefeated player on day 1, and then he won his first round against Junior and the Quinlan Mirror. Like he's just a machine. He's a machine. He's one of the things about him is like I think he was happy with the weekend. He was ready to play, but like he's messaging us and he's like, all right, he's looking at limited. He wants to play. He wants to look at like play testing. He wants to get ready for PQs and sectors.
Yeah.
He's already qualified. I think he's like, he's a good bet for the first player of the year for this season. He was top 10 if you had done the points last year. I think he was third or fourth or something. So he's a machine. We're happy he's on our squad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he is hype. And we were up late last night doing sealed builds. Me, you, and him, Justin. So we were just cracking 6 packs and talking about the build. He had one of the most busted pulls I've ever seen. The one that we did right before bed. He pulled
nasty.
Vader, 2 shatter points, and the starter Snoke in the foil slot, which is pretty
Starter
hilarious.
cards like popping up are actually kind of crazy because like they're not part of. You don't get them, right? You don't get the start.
No, you don't get them, and you gotta like you can't really be like, oh well, this guy might have pulled a foil Obi-Wan Sentinel to pull off his Kylo Ren, but like, can you imagine if you do open Kylo Ren in a foil Obi-Wan? Like,
who are the leaders in the starter?
Qui-Gon and Maul.
Imagine if you got a showcase. That'd be wild.
Do they have those showcases in there? They must, I guess. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, they're in regular packs. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be crazy.
If you do that, you like have to play that because it's like you just like get so much surprise. Like Qui-Gon and sealed. Can you imagine? Like you're getting like looping your guys and stuff.
No, I can't imagine that. That's crazy. All right, here's Ophir's deck. He asked me yesterday why I had Spark highlighted, but I think like there were a couple things. One, like we always kind of liked Quinlan, but when we added the main deck Sparks, it really just jumped up our playtesting ladder. And the other thing he wanted me to shout out was like it finally gave him something to do turn 1 against Grogu, against Han 2, where he could just they play a Grogu, you Spark, take their follow-up play, Tarkintown it, and then next turn just play a 3-drop and ping it to death.
Yeah, they can't do anything to actually save it unless they have like an entrenched or something like that. They just basically do a damage to you, gain the force, but then you play a guy and they lose their guy, and it's like really good line.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I remember that line. Spark lets you like actually do something on your turn 1.
Yep. And then what else? Like to fit them, I think like we talked about cutting a surprise strike, just like 6 pumps, probably too much if we're on the Spark plan, and passing a lot, like passing a unit turn 1. He really championed Depa Balaba as a card that made this deck great for him. Yeah, and he added Quinlan Voss to make it a little bit more explosive. The 4-drop Quinlan.
It's cool to see like all the new cards, like Quinlan, Adigalia, Depa. Like he has, the old standbys of like the Falcon. He's got the one Fang Fighter. There's one content group that was like he drew the Fang Fighter every time when he did. But like that's why you play those. That's why you play the 1-ups, because you can prioritize it. You only have a 50-card deck. You're going to see about 16 cards every match.
Yeah, and he did have the aggrieved. Sorry, Matt, what's up?
Oh, I was going to say, by the time that you play that Fang Fighter, like, you've seen a bunch of cards, you've like, not crazy. Checking for Stevie. But in all seriousness, like, we played a ton of Kylo. Like, Kylo was definitely my, like, in this testing. I know Steve championed it as well. So, like, we were high on Kylo. We had, 2 people play it, almost 3. Like, it was a great call.
I don't know what's necessarily worse, Ophir playing the Parliaments because he had the BN deck ahead of time, or Ophir playing the Parliaments attack for his teammate. Let's let the people decide.
All right, chime in, comment in and YouTube. Let us know what you think Woo's worst move was here. And then the talk of the tournament coming out of it was this Kylo Tarkintown deck that obviously played by most of the BN guys, also played by the Canadians, also played just a couple randoms here and there, like the guy Danny Trujillo, who went 7-0 on day 1. He was my only loss day 1. He played like a very aggressive version of this. The thing that really stood out to me was how good Sith Holocron was in this list specifically. I'd played against Sith Holocron a lot. People putting it in Talzin, people putting it in aggressive decks, but this is really the perfect deck for it. And when they used it to combine with Admiral Matty to ready their Kylo, like, yeah, that's when I was like, oh shit, this deck is actually like kind of insane.
The deck was legit. I got smoked by it. George beat me very easily. The deck was great for them. Good shout out to them for finding it, like cycling to your Anakin's faster. I think Anakin probably the best card. The not breakout card of the tournament, but like was a build around for a lot of people just because of the power level. And this is probably the best Anakin deck because you're able to find him faster and you're able to cycle your hero cards very fast. You don't actually have to play you don't actually pay the tax on the off aspect card. So you get to just have that ability, still do Anakin, and have this ticking time bomb of Kylo on the background. Like the really cool thing about this deck is it does different things. Like you can go like one game I played, I lost. It's like Witch of the Mist and Force Throw, turn one, and then a second Force Throw or something along those lines, and with Tarkintown, and I just like basically had no hand and was completely dominated. But then there's also games where they go like constructed lightsaber on a secretive sage and just hit really hard. But then there's also games where they go like power the dark side and like discard a heroic resolve and then Anakin and just they're in the full removal plan and then Tarkintown's gonna get something at some point. So like the deck can go long. Like that's one thing about this game too, is in Magic you'd never have like an aggro deck beat a control deck on like turn 11 unless it's like something really weird happened, right? Like the control deck had no life gain, you just like were searching that last lightning bolt or something. But like there's a certain point where like the control deck just like pivots and can't ever lose to an aggro deck. Like that's one thing about SWU is that all the aggro decks can still play the top end power level stuff and be right there with the other decks. So like that's one. I think like the one card that's maybe sort of an exception to that is like Luke Skywalker sometimes does like get like if you don't have Luke and they have Luke and you have no way to kill Luke, you're probably never winning that game.
Right.
I remember like Sabine would oftentimes scoop to a Luke. Like you'd get the opponent to like some level and they'd play Luke and you'd be like, oh, it's wrap up time now.
Right.
But in general, like SWU has the ability where like a deck like this can play literally one drops and upgrades, but then still have the end game to beat like a Kira Data Vault deck that has Devastator in it. Like you're still not going to necessarily lose those games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was like your Sabine Data Vault deck that you won your PQ with. The same thing, where it's like it's an aggro deck, but it goes for the long game.
Yeah, it was like Radishes, and you board in Crate Dragons, and you just keep going. You just keep playing cards. That's the thing with this game. Like, you just keep playing cards. And, like, there's not really a draw, like, card advantage deck there. Like, there's no Sphinx's Revelation for the Magic folks out there where you're like, oh, Sphinx's Revelation for 5 and gain 5 and draw 5 cards. Well, your opponent's drawing 1 card a turn it's probably like a 1-drop. That doesn't happen.
I think that's inherently baked into just the mechanics of the game where you draw 2 cards a turn.
I'll say that after playing 9 rounds with that deck, like you really hit the nail on the head. Justin, like there were games where I would like suit up somebody early and then put the pressure on, and then like Kylo gave me like very easy inevitability where he didn't have to do that much, and then I had games where I beat like a Kira Data Vault where he had to do the whole, he had to do 30. Like it was a really well constructed deck, and Mike was right. Like Sith Holocron, like I did a lot of Kylo testing. Never did the Tarkintown thing, but like I did it with yellow where I'd splash Holocron because it was so good, or I would do like red Force. Like Holocron was really that insane, even if it wasn't killing Modi. And then when it killed Modi, it was just complete gas. So I'm curious to see like how the deck adapts. Like, can it fight through the hate? I think the hate is pretty hard when the opponent is pressuring you, like Quinlan. Like, I really think if Blue didn't draw the worst hand of all time, I think he could have pulled that best of 3 out. I think post board something like Quinlan's still hard, but I think the deck can adapt. Like, I like some of the ideas that Mike had mentioned from his opponent day 1. There could be like a middle ground there to keep this deck alive, but it was like a pretty insane silver bullet-y cut through the meta deck and was really impressive at Worlds. And it's fun as hell. Like Migs,
I don't think it's a flash pan.
No, I think it's pretty resilient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even like MIGs with Battle Fury, you just hit them for 5 and then you discard something and now they take 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah, there's all those little weird interactions. Migs would like pillage, Migs would force throw, just little things about like getting things in the graveyard. The stuff dying and then coming back with Kylo later in the game.
If they ever make upgrades turn into guys, Kylo will be like insane.
Yeah, he's one of those leaders that's going to be good for a really long time. So I'm glad Steve stole my showcase, because we'll have it in the hopper forever.
We might need more than we're all playing Kylo in the future.
That's right. We only need 3. I don't play showcases. I have our lists here. This is the list Matty and I ran at Worlds. I was pretty happy with the list, the way we sleeved it up. One thing that we had to do a little differently playing in day 1 was prep for Vader yellow. Like, I didn't expect that the day 2 meta would have a lot of Vader, but day 1 Vader was, I think, the second most represented deck. So I did play against one Vader deck, and those entrenched, main deck entrenched, just won me the game, essentially.
Yeah.
My spice of the weekend was 1 Carabast. I got to Carabast a bunch of things. The card was a true all-star for me all weekend. But a lot of times it was just get control of the board and get ahead early and slam crates. And I got to do something I don't think I ever did in testing, but multiple times on day 1 was get to play 2 crates on the table at the same time. Just to completely induce the scoop. Yeah.
Double crate is sick. I think it was like Minnesota where I realized it wasn't unique. New York.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think moving forward, now that like we don't have the day 1 thing, like I would put more villainy cards in there to turn on my, but it is a hard trade-off. But I thought the deck was amazing. Like I really should have 6-1'd. I just lost my brain being so tired. And then I think I could have 7-2'd, and I still again lost my brain. So deck was great. Should have sent this bolt there. That's on me for enjoying the cabana and a little too much, and then waking up in the middle of the night for a couple hours for the event was kind of tough. But you did great with the deck, Mike. I had full faith in you. Whether it was the tequila or what, I just said I'm going to play Mike's exact 60, and it did not disappoint me. So.
Yeah, that list is great.
Yeah, I think we had it in a good spot. We tested it a lot.
Yeah, you guys.
And just ready for the mirror. I won all my Han 2 mirrors on the weekend. I only lost 2.
I don't think we lost to Han as a team.
No, I don't think so.
I did not.
I didn't lose to Han.
I think Tada drew, but I think everyone else was Ophir was undefeated against Han. Alex was undefeated against Han. He only had losses to Sabine. You were undefeated against Han, Mike, with a lot. Han was my 1 win. Steve, you beat Han. Like I think I'm not sure if CJ beat Han, but like we all beat. Like our record against Han was probably like 12-0, which speaks to like our testing, because what was our testing against?
Yeah, it was mostly Han.
Only Han.
Yeah,
and like Data Vault stuff. And I would have loved to play against Data Vault, even though I think that's actually like not like a great matchup. At least I had like that comfortability. But there was like decks that we faced that we didn't know. Like the Kylo deck obviously was built to be an unexpected thing. Yeah, I played against Yoda and just felt like didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened to me. Is like felt really great against the Han, and then I got paired up against Iden Data Vault round 1 of day 2, and was like a little stressed that was how my day was going to start. But then I 2-0'd it, and it's true. Like we tested a lot against Han, we tested a lot against Data Vault, and I ended up losing to like Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin was your Yoda. My Yoda was your Anakin.
Yeah, I lost to Anakin.
Sort of the same, but we don't actually know. We haven't played enough against it to know what matters differently.
Yeah, and I lost to a CAD who had like some insane tech. Justin, you did have some villain cards in here. I tested the villain cards quite a bit and never got Anakin online in a consistent way, so I just decided to skip the villain.
Yeah, I mean, this list was fine. Like I wish that I had played the third Ogdo Bogdo like you had, and I think the second Cassian. If I had to like run the tournament back with Han, like actually have a time machine, because I would have played Han with the time machine. Like with full knowledge, I probably would have played Quinlan. But if it's like, okay, the knowledge I had on that Thursday, I would have played Han. and the choices that I would have liked to make, I would have played a second Force Lightning instead of the Force Choke. And then I would have just had a little bit more consistency. I had a little bit more variety. In my early game, I wanted the one Yoda for like Vader decks. That should have just been a second Cassian. I should have played 3 Bogdos and then probably called it a day after that. Just
Yeah, the
because
double
like
Cassian won me multiple games at Worlds.
yeah. Cassian was like probably the one card where I was like, man, I really like this card in testing, and then like I just didn't end up registering more than one. More on like I played a lot on the flight. Actually, it was good games on the flight, like just like getting some things fleshed out. Um, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think I will say, I don't think Han is in a great space moving forward. Just because I think like the Kylo deck is very good against it, even if you have parliamentarians and stuff. And then if the other best decks are Quinlan and Talzin, those matchups are certainly not easy. I think you can win them, but they're certain you can win all the games, but like they're just you're up against it. You don't have like the doesn't feel like you have the same free wins that you had with maybe like the very early testing that we did.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I got your deck up here, Steve, which is also the one that Tada used to win that PQ. I mean, this was really good in testing, and I think still remains really good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with where we got the list to. Todd and I got down there on Tuesday and basically just woke up every morning at like 4 and just jammed for a couple hours before we got the day going. Um, like I don't want to. It definitely has some really really bad matchups. Like I went 1-3. My round one opponent was the Han
Hop for
Remember telling me
space.
Tarkin? Yeah, and I actually won game one of that.
Well,
I got completely demolished game two, and then game three, like the my mull was really bad. I didn't have like a turn 1, 2, or 3 play. Well, that matchup was certainly winnable. I did play like a Han Vader 4 yellow, which I knew going into that if you couldn't pull off the turn, whatever their 6 resource snook was, it was going to be a tough matchup. And he rolled me, and then I played the mirror where they had main deck vigilance and restock, and that it just wasn't. Like the 3 games I lost, they weren't even like really good games, which is tough. But it's like really well positioned into the Talzins, the Hans. I'm even pretty happy with like the Quinlan and Yoda matchup.
How is it against the Kylo Tarkintown?
Matty and I played a couple games the morning of day 2 online. I don't think it's awful, but like I think it's probably 50-50. I think if you put parliaments in the board, you can probably win games 2 and game 3 pretty easily. One thing somebody mentioned was they thought this deck is going to take a hit with people adding parliaments to all their boards, but like you're more of a control deck, and I can't even tell you how many times I flip a naked Kylo, or like I just never even see craving power. So like if your opponent's turn 6 or your 6 or 7 resource turn, they're playing a 2-drop parliament that's just a vanilla 2/2. Like I think
right.
you're pretty fine with that in this version. You don't really lean on the stuff as much. But there's a lot of cool interactions. Like there were games I'd flip like a naked Kylo out just because I had a Ray out, and then there's just like infinite shields and stuff they can do.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
So
Ray's
like
nice.
I do like it going into a PQ because like the PQ itself you actually have to win as opposed to like day like an open where you just have to day 2 or top 8 or whatever. But like to actually win a PQ, you're gonna have to beat a Han deck. You're gonna have to beat Quinlan, some of that stuff, especially Talzin now with the world's winning. So like I don't hate it. But there's definitely some matchups that are just unwinnable. And I knew that going into the weekend. I just happened to get paired up against quite a few of those. But
yeah, double space. Like when you're playing Power of the Dark Side Merciless contest, and they have double 1-drop. It's like
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Tough.
it was tough, but it is what it
Yeah.
is, you know.
Sometimes you pull your matchups, sometimes you don't. That's cards. Like you can be on the other side of the coin sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Tata just went with it. So
Yeah, I was happy to see him do well with it yesterday.
A lot of tickets.
Yeah, so we didn't really get too involved in this because we didn't really have time to grind side events. But like the prize ticket and event ticket drama at Worlds, we should probably talk about it at least for a couple minutes. But the long story short is that they ran out of event tickets when people were registering. They lost some in the mail, and then people dropped thousands of dollars on event tickets right at the jump to sort of like corner the market. And so like when I registered, there were no event tickets in my stuff. So people couldn't even buy event tickets. And then to get event tickets back, they were letting people trade event tickets for prize tickets. So people were just buying as many event tickets as they could and then trading them in for prize tickets. And there was no limit on the prize wall. So they were just letting people get whatever they wanted and sort of like clean out. Like the Super Laser Blast sold out really early. The Vader and Luke showcases sold out. And then to top it all off, because the prize wall ended at 2:00 on Sunday, people had to basically get in line at 9. Like we got in VIP at 8. I had to make sure that I was in line by 9. So I waited for it to die down. I sold some cards. I got in my line because at 9:00 the line from the con was all the way out to the casino. It was like thousands of people in line, and then that just turned into the prize wall line, and so people waited in line like 2 hours and didn't even get the prize wall was empty by the time people got up there. So there were a whole lot of ways that the system broke down, and from everyone I've heard, like the major complaint about the event was that the side events and the prize wall stuff was just such an unmitigated disaster. And we knew people that were going just to drop, like we talked about in the last pod, but people were going just to drop the main event and play side events. And I think like they didn't even get to do that. So people did just sat around doing freaking nothing all weekend.
Yeah, and the four of us were I think we're impressed. Like we mentioned the stage, and we mentioned the Lucasfilm stuff with this, and the sort of grand nature of it all. But none of us were engaged in not main event stuff. So we kind of were, we didn't have to deal with we didn't have event tickets in our bags, and it was okay, whatever. We're not going to use them really anyway.
Right.
But if you went there and you were trying to play side events, you got screwed. Although definitely some things to fix. No limit on the fact that you can literally go out on the first person in line, you can be I'll take all of your prize tickets. How did no one be oh yeah, we don't actually have a stated limit, but we're not selling you $2,000 worth of prize tickets, or event tickets. That to me seems like someone should have said yeah, wait a second, let me check with my manager, because it's if you literally ran out, how could you? I don't know. That seems kind of obvious that if you know you have a little number, that you don't give all of them to someone buying it.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. The one thing I want to say, my phone's gonna die soon, so I'm probably gonna end up dropping in the middle of this. So I just I didn't want to engage in side events, even if I could have, or I never used my prize tickets. I literally gave them to Ophir and said, "Get me one mat and keep the rest," because I saw how much of a cluster the line was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, intimidating.
That kind of prevented me, and I'm sure prevented other people from engaging in that. I can propose fixes. I don't know if they're doable. Can you digitalize it? Can you have have some way to kind of fix this stuff? But something's got to give, because that was brutal. And people's entire day 3 was just sitting in the line.
Yeah,
that's such a shitty way to end your World's experience. You go off on a sour note, and then that's all you think of. And that's why a lot of people were bummed in the Discord or bummed on other platforms, because your last day there was sitting around, then the halls closed, you didn't get to do anything, or you had these prize tickets that you just didn't get to use. I got lucky that Ophir did popcorn and said, "Hey, take my stuff and get me one playmat," which was the Purgle, which was fine. I don't know what those are, but
Yeah, but a lot of the good mats were sold out by then, by the end of the event.
Yeah, I thought maybe would be a good mat for him. Got like a Death Star plans or something. But they didn't even save like the good mats for the top 4 guys. They just saved the promos. They didn't even think to save the mats. Like, I bet they wanted, like, you come fourth in the event, you don't get to do anything. I bet he would have liked a nice Kylo Ray mat or a Death Star plans mat. Those mats are sick.
Yeah.
So definitely a little more thinking, but I mean, I would hope that in a year they can see from some mistakes.
Well, that's the issue, is that you want to give them, this has been their first year, and they've screwed up a lot, and every time it's like, well, they're learning, they're showing that they're learning, but people drop like thousands of dollars and a lot of time to go to Vegas, and they've announced that Vegas is happening the next 2 years, same weekend in July, for the next 2 Galactic Championships, and just like how many people are not going to return because of how the side event stuff went. I don't know, but I gotta imagine it's some non-zero number.
Yeah, it's a bummer because so many people were really excited. I mean, like, the fact that you'd even wait in a line for hours and hours and hours is like shows, and people were like loving the promos and like loving the prize wall.
Stuff on the wall was great, yeah.
It's like what they, and the people for the whole, for pretty much the entirety of the first season were complaining about the prizes and like, oh, the Dr. Evazan promo is like terrible, and like now they've got like all these cool promos, and like a card like Super Laser Blast or Mace or like really sought after cards that are selling for a lot on like eBay and stuff like that. But they now have the like design, like they have a real demand, and they kind of bungled the ability to facilitate that demand.
Yeah.
All right, boys, my phone's about to die.
All right.
Good pod.
Check you later.
Crush the rest of it. To everyone watching, love you. Thank you so much. Peace.
Perfect timing with the title, the new big 3.
The new
Yes,
big
Matty.
3. Justin, Steve, and Mike. All right.
You buying Matty out?
Yep. All right. So,
Special.
are these the new big 3? Quinlan, Talzin, Kylo?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Going into PQ season, these are the 3 decks that you got to be ready for, I think. Or you got to play, but you definitely got to be ready to face each of these. I don't know what the right answer is at the moment for decks to play. I don't think it's Han 2.
I don't think it's Han 2. You're going to regret it when you play Han 2 and you play against... Like, it could be a total reworking of Han 2.
I mean, this could also just change in a week when they ban Force Throw.
Yeah. Bannings would change a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if they ban Force Throw, things will certainly change. I don't know if that's happening anytime soon.
Yeah, it seems like there's less energy to ban it than I've ever heard before. Like, I didn't get a sense that they felt the urgency. And if you think about it, like, their meta, while that card is in the majority of decks, it wasn't like one Force Throw deck was dominant. Like, it actually just sort of was like a baseline where it was like Force Throw and 47 other cards. And
yeah, but I think that's more of a reason too, right? Because like,
yeah,
if it's just one deck that's dominant, then like that's one thing. But the fact, like, the reason they banned Boba set 1, they said, was because people were winning PQs with him in every aspect. Like, it wasn't just Boba Green. It was all the Boba colors were winning PQs. So that's when they felt like it was an issue. Like, if every deck is playing Force Throw, then it's like now while your leader might be interchangeable, like you're either playing Force Throw or you're not. And if you're not, then you're really not being competitive. So like at some point, like you can't play a Luke deck. I mean, I guess you could play Force Throw and Luke, but like he's not Force. Like if you're not playing Force Throw Force, then like what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can't play like Ray Data Vault more because like you don't win against the Force Throw decks. Yeah.
Well, we got the Kylo Data Vault. We got Vader and Sabine are sort of the other non-Force decks. There's probably others. There's like, Gar Saxon, but Boba Data Vault. Yeah. There's a bunch,
those decks.
But they do feel like a step down from all these.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think Sabine's actually probably pretty well positioned. I think it gets a lot of value by not having to face Han, because Han's the 4-star deck that also had life gain with like itinerant warrior and stuff like that. So I think like if Sabine I think like isn't necessarily fearing Kylo.
Wasn't
Like, you can lose to Kylo, but that leader still comes out on 7. Like that's probably something where like you're actually either won or lost by that point.
wasn't Sabine actually like the second most played deck on day 2 or something like that? Did I see a
It was
stat?
third. It was up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
which
think
is
Sabine's
surprising
like,
because there was no conversions, right? Nobody
right.
made top 8 with it. And like usually if there's a substantial amount, at least somebody does because they just drew the nuts every game.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't like a ton. I don't know. I forget the exact numbers. But yeah, I mean Vader and Sabine get to do like the Vader thing's tough. Like the Talzin matchup's brutal. They just have a built-in
Yeah.
kill your token mechanic that they're always going to be able to use every turn. So you just delete the tokens. You're just playing ships, and they also play like cards like Arm to the Teeth and weapons that are upgrades that can close the game pretty fast. I think the Talzin matchup for Vader is really tough. The Han matchup for Sabine's really tough. Churret's still a card. Han, like maybe there's a reworking of Han, but I think like playing one of the decks in the first slot, I think is just more appealing. Like learning Quinlan or learning Talzin, or picking up Kylo and saying like, you know what, I people are gonna jam parliamentarians in their deck, and you change like 3 or 4 cards to just sort of understand what that does, like the texture that maybe your deck gets a little bit less combo-y. Maybe you take out like Matty or something, and you actually just like play more units, and you do what Steve was saying, which was like, oh, if they're gonna play a 2/2 on turn 5 or 6, and you're playing like actual good units,
Yeah.
they just dwarfed. Like maybe you put Vader in that deck, like just play a Vader, no haste, but you just play one,
Mm-hmm.
or, something along those lines. Or you go like you actually the one thing that's kind of crazy is you can like look at the Talzin list and like take some innovation and actually add it to the Kylo deck, and
Yeah, for
vice
sure.
versa. Like you could put Lom Pikes in the Talzin deck. You could put some of the stuff that the Talzin deck had. You put Arm to the Teeth in the Kylo deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually did play quite a bit of Long Pike and Talzin in testing. It's just
Yeah.
Chirrut ended up being where I wanted to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all she wrote. So, all in all, it was a crazy weekend. I think the craziest in SWU so far.
Crazy was only a week ago. Like,
Yeah.
Some people just
it
go
was
Vegas.
so no, man. And I was mellow too, all things considered.
Well,
But whatever.
back to the grind.
Yeah.
PQs are here, so got my month planned. Gonna be jamming as much as I can. Just gotta find a deck. Oh, it's been my story the last couple months. Just gotta find a deck.
You have
You'll
to play
find-
some
you'll
limited.
get there.
Yeah,
You might not even need a deck.
that's right. Might just need 6 packs and a dream. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Later.